To start then, how would you describe your sound?
Others have described it. I don't like describing my sound. I don't like being put in a box of anything, but I think probably the most accurate description of my sound is contemporary folk. That's what other people have called me. Sometimes I'm like, it's a bit folk, it's a bit pop, it's a bit like, in my head, probably not on the stage, I sometimes think, a bit like jungly, a bit like, a few beats in there and things like that. Just a whole mixture of things, a big melting pot of all sorts of things, I like to call them.
Where does it come from then? Where are your influences?
I like all sorts of things, absolutely all sorts of things. At the moment, I love people like Aital Tech and Machine Drum. I went to see Venetian Snares earlier this year and Luke Viber. I absolutely love that. But then I also I really like This Is a Kit, who come to Hull quite a lot and played with quite a lot, like folk there. I really, really loved when I was growing up Vashti Bunyan. She's an old folk artist. She's got a really beautiful voice. They're not the voice of today's X Factor people or anything like that. I like Bjork. I like loads of rock music, drum and bass. I grew up listening to drum and bass. I love punk and ska. I'm really happy because I'm in a ska couples band at the moment, and I'm just loving playing that. I like reggae. I like all sorts, really. I can't really pin it down to one specific thing. I know some people sort of say, I really want to be like that person or that person, but I'm just not really like that. I like to take different things all the time. And I think the main thing when I was growing up that made me want to do what I want to do now was an artist called Ed Elaine Johnson, and he is a violinist. He's got a 5-string purple electric violin, and he used a loop pedal, and I believe he does still today go around busking in York and Chester and things like that, and he does quite epic sort of violin pieces. I think he does covers when he's busking, but he's got quite a good album out called Purple Electric Violin Concerto, which is great. I love it. So I grew up listening to that, and I was like, oh yeah, I really like that. I want to do stuff like that. So
your instruments aren't always instruments. So can you tell us about your collection of?
My main non-instrument. Well, actually, no. Let me backtrack. If it makes a sound, it's an instrument.
Okay.
So it might not look like a normal instrument, but if it makes a sound and it sounds good, I like it. The main thing I use is a Tupperware tub that I bought for £1 from Newland Avenue, which I think sounds great. And I've been known to play my mandolin with chopsticks, but that's been taken from sort of bluegrass and things like that. I've seen my uncle, who's a bluegrass player, sort of sent me a video of someone playing a violin with chopsticks, and I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. I've been known to use cheese graters, spoons, things from the kitchen. I think when I was younger, I used to getting all the pots and pans out and playing music in the kitchen, in the kitchen, and deafening my parents. And I just kind of really like sort of that aspect of being able to pick up anything and making a sound with it and being able to replicate it live.
Right. So what proper or things that other people consider instruments do you use as well? You've got
mainly I play the viola. And I also sometimes bring a mandolin into my set. I'm hoping to do that more often when I get a car and can carry everything around. There's only so much I can carry. And I've just acquired a Korg K-Oscillator Pro, which is an electronic piece of equipment. I'm not that familiar with electronic pieces of equipment, but it's great. It's like a little sort of synth thing with lots and lots of different sounds on it, and I'm hoping to be building that into my set very soon.
And you're working on some new material. What is your creative process?
My creative process is to be really careful, otherwise I'll annoy the neighbours. I like to set up all my equipment up in my living room, and I might get an idea into my head or a little riff or something like that, and I'll set that going and I'll set that looping, and I'll just sit and dance around my living room and sing and mess about and play stuff. I really like just having the time and space to just mess about, because I think that's where most of my creative ideas come from. And then if I get an idea, I'll kind of focus in on that idea, and you know, I could have that idea running in my head for days or weeks or even months. Sometimes my brain is like a non-stop radio or something that I'll have it like mulling around in my head for days, and then I'll sit and write something out, and it'll just all come. I can't really like say what directs that. Maybe something happened in my life, or like usually a lot of my songs are like sort of metaphors for something that's happened in my life, and I paint it in a real sort of surreal sort of scene sort of thing, and that's kind of that. Yeah, that's kind of how I write my music.
So what can we expect? Because is it all for the debut album? My debut album has been coming for a very, very long time. I've had a few issues with like actually recording it, but I've certainly got like a really good batch of about 15 songs. Originally, I wanted to record everything that I do live on separate tracks. But I'm not very good at Ableton, and being a solo artist, going into a studio like and paying full whack is quite prohibitive. So I was trying to do it at home, but I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to do it live, basically, as if I was playing it live. And yeah, like that is going to be what it's going to be. I'm looking to do that like early next year, and I'm going to test out this method of recording this weekend. Because I need to make a Christmas EP with a couple of Christmas songs that I'm going to cover over the Christmas period. I have a number of gigs coming up, you see, so I need something to sell there. Yeah. My next question is going to be about your next gigs. You said you're busy for the next month.
I'm busy for the next month. I've got 3 shows coming up over the rest of this year. I'm really excited because the first show is going to be at the Camden Jazz Cafe in London. I'm going to be supporting a band called Band from Utopia. This band, the musicians in this band all played for Frank Zappa. They were in his backing band at various stages throughout his career, and when you go and have a look at their personal websites and their biographies, you know, they've been working with Prince, Paul McCartney, Elton John. They're like really like right up there in terms of like good musicians. So I'm like just really, really excited about just being able to meet them and see them play, and I'm really excited about being able to play for them. I've not played the Jazz Cafe before, and it's quite nice because I'm starting to get a couple of gigs now in London, and they've always gone down really well. So that's the first one. The second one is going to be a whole gig. I'm going to be playing on the 13th of December at the Adelphi. I'm going to be supporting Copenhagen and Paris XY. I'm so excited about that. I love Paris XY. I think they're brilliant. And that's going to be part of the like Awake sort of night. And so yeah, that's going to be my next one in Hull. So everyone should come and see that because that'll be my last Hull gig of the year. And then finally, I'm going down to Colchester Arts Centre on the 19th of December. I'm going to be supporting a guy called Goody Pal. Now, if I get it right in my head, he's Danish. I think he travels around Europe on a solar-powered bicycle, and he just basically, we don't know what he's going to do. He's been coming to the Colchester Arts Centre for like a number of years now, and he does like a whole mix of like sort of electronic like stuff and sort of avant-garde ambient stuff. I think he's quite in with the avant-garde electronic community over in Scandinavia. I'll also be playing with Daniel Merrill and the Harpoon Orchestra. Daniel Merrill's part of a band called the Dead Rat Orchestra, and it's quite nice because I'm starting to build up a little bit of a friendship with them down there. The Dead Rat Orchestra once went on tour with Godspeed You Black Emperor, another band that I love, so I'm like, it's amazing. So he's a violin player, he's great, and like last time I went down and I played with them, I ended up doing a big improv set with them on the stage with like sort of another violin, another viola player, an accordion player, a harmonium player, Steinway grand piano on the stage, and it was magical. It was really, really good. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll be doing my Christmas songs there as well, and that'll be my last gig of the year.
Tell us about your Christmas songs.
My Christmas song. So I thought I would like to do some Christmas songs. I actually hate Christmas. I think Christmas is rubbish. Yes, but I thought I'd do a little bit of research.
and I thought, right, I would like to cover a medieval sort of Christmas song, so I'm covering the Coventry Carol and giving it a bit, making it a bit jazzy and a bit of a groovy piece of music. The next song I'm going to do is kind of a cover. It's based on an Icelandic Christmas story about a Christmas cat, and basically it's kind of quite superstitious. So if the children don't get a new item of clothing to wear each year before Christmas, the Christmas cat will come and eat all of their Christmas dinner. And when I sort of looked into it a bit further to see if somebody had written a song about it, Björk had actually sung this song, and there's a video of it on YouTube, but she recorded it in 1987, and it's quite a random, rare recording, and fortunately there's a pretty good English translation online that's quite musical. So I've taken the words to that, I've taken the tune, I've given it a bass line, so I will probably be dancing around over the next few weeks with cat ears on, singing about the cats. So hopefully it would be nice to see some people in Hull at the Hull gig to see what I've done.
And 2015, it's fast approaching. What does the year signal?
I will release my album. I will. I will also pass my driving test so I can travel the length of the land playing my music. I'm just putting in applications for festivals at the moment. Really just trying to expand out of Hull. So I've got a few friends in a few places. I'll be looking to book a couple of tours and things with my album to sell as well, and then we'll see where that takes us.
Thank you.
Yeah.